friends, welcome back to my channel. Today's reading vlog is going to be my throwback reading vlog for January all the way till April. For starters, let me get into just telling you what we chose. For this selection, we'll be reading the entirety of the Lunar Chronicles plus Fairest, which I just don't have right now. But this is a young adult sci-fi series that I loved. It's also fairy tale retellings. So the first book is CINDER, where Cinderella is a cyborg. Then there's Scarlet, Cress, Winter, Stars Above, and then like I said, we're also going to be reading the novella Fairest. The description on the back of this one says, a cross between fairy tales, the Terminator, and Star Wars. And you know what? I'll give that as a good description. I agree. I loved this series when I was younger, and honestly, like looking back at some of my reviews, I think I gave them like all 5 stars. But I just wanted to jump in here and let you know that this is the vlog where I'm going to be reading these. If you're unfamiliar with Throwback Book Club, it is a book club that is hosted by myself as well as my bestie Lizzie from Lizzie's Literary Life. I will link her down below, as well as our Discord and our Instagram and all of that fun information. But we are going to be doing a mini series check-in live show since these books are so long. Let me step back a minute. Usually we do each series in 2 months, but these books are a little chunky, so we decided to extend it to 4. But because that's kind of a long wait, we're doing a mid-series check-in for these 2 at the end of February, and then an overall discussion at the end of April. We are also going to be hosting sleepover sprints on February 8th, which this will be out after that. So I'll include clips of that. But I'm excited to dive in. As of right now, I have not started any of these for my reread. Obviously, I'll be starting with CINDER, but I just wanted to get this vlog going and at least indicate that I'm reading. Hi friends! Happy Valentine's Day. I have managed to start CINDER, and yesterday I got to page 130 because this is such a quick read. It is so much fun. First and foremost, I want to mention that in Marissa Meyer's bio description, she puts on here that she's a fan of most things geeky, including Sailor Moon, Firefly, and color coordinating her bookshelf. So I feel a kindred spirit to Marissa Meyer. I hope that you still do those things, because I watched Firefly for the first time and it was awesome. But yes, I made it 130 pages into CINDER. This is obviously a Cinderella retelling, and she is part cyborg, but I didn't realize it was gonna get pretty dark pretty quickly, as CINDER is basically taken for testing to find a cure for a deadly plague that is killing millions of people around the globe. This takes place in an alternate future Earth where, I guess it could just be future Earth, but I don't think we're going to last this long anyway, so alternate future Earth. There are societies living on the moon called the Lunar people, and our main character, CINDER, she is the youngest daughter of a family where her stepmother hates her. She does have a good relationship with one of her stepsisters, and then the other one also hates her. She is like a kindred spirit to the family's other sentient technology. And of course, she has met our prince, Prince Kai, and I already love him. I think I loved him the first time as well. I'm remembering a lot from this. I just didn't expect it to get it got a little spooky. Whoa, did I just scratch my head? No. I just didn't expect it to get a little bit spooky like it does so fast. Being taken for testing, scary. I think I will probably get spoilery in this vlog, so I'm gonna warn you now, this is your warning now, that later on in the series I'll probably say what happens. So hopefully you're here and you either have already read the series or don't care to hear what happens. So CINDER, though, we are finding out a little bit about her past, in the sense that she has no idea about her past. She just knows that her adoptive father went to Europe and brought her home, and then he developed the plague that is killing everybody, and he passed away not long after, leaving her stepmother, who hates her, in charge of her. And her stepmother is the one who volunteers her for subject testing. CINDER does not consent to this. It even makes it very clear that she is terrified and did not consent, and all the doctors are like, sorry, you don't have rights, you're a cyborg. It's interesting because major plot points I do remember so well, so certain aspects I'm not going to bring up yet, but I'm like seeing the hints of like Cinder's actual past and stuff like that. So I'm having a really good time. This is really, really fun. I think it's gonna be a perfect quick little read, and I'll jump back in. Honestly, I might finish the book before I jump back in. These are gonna be quick reads, but I'll try to yap when I remember to yap. Hi friends, I have completed Cinder, and wow, I don't remember this leaving on quite such a cliffhanger as it does. Like, it's not the most crazy cliffhanger, but it's definitely propelling into the next story. I'm so happy I don't have to wait a year to get to that. I only have to wait a few hours till I pick up the next one. I am gonna go ahead and give this a pretty solid 4-star, maybe like a 4.25. I've been doing a lot of quarter stars lately. I'm so sorry. I just think it was, wow, I have like water all over it. I just think it was such a fantastic story. I was so hooked. It was darker than I remembered. I cared about the characters. Some reveals didn't shock me, but some things like Peony actually passing away was crazy. I don't remember that. I was so stressed out for Cinder. The whole reveal that she's the princess, though, I was like, okay, I mean, I don't think Marissa Meyer was trying to, you know, throw us off with that, but it was a very fun reveal. Queen Lavana or whatever freaking sucks. I hate her. And yeah, I just had a really, really great time with this. I think Marissa Meyer took quite a few risks in it. I also want to say that I really, really like the audiobook. I think the audiobook does, like, the narrator does a great job differentiating different characters speaking, and she gives them like a character voice, but not to the point of it feeling like a caricature. I mean, it's not the most complex story. It is complex and it's not complex, but I feel like I've shared all of the complexities I could think of in this moment. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up Scarlet now. I didn't love Scarlet, but we're going to give her another shot because it's just a way to get to Cress, which, by the way, we had a little Cress moment that I didn't remember, and I loved how much she annoyed Cinder. I was like, Cress, shut up, but also I love you. Hi friends, so I've made it to chapter 10 of Scarlet, and this is already surprising me in quite a few ways. I just have like no memory of this, which is so weird. The only memory I have is that Scarlet wasn't like my favorite. That's the only thing I can think of. I didn't dislike it. I looked at my Goodreads review, and apparently I still loved like Scarlet and Wolf as a couple. But where I was reading Cinder and I remembered so much of it, this one, I'm remembering nothing. Like, I didn't even realize that we're getting introduced to Scarlet, who is a new character. Her grandmother is missing. I do remember that. But I didn't realize that we're also getting the perspective of Cinder while she is still in jail and escaping to run away. And then Thorn, God, I love that man. I'm so happy Thorn is back. But I didn't realize that we were going to be jumping perspectives. I thought this was going to only follow Scarlet, and that was kind of a nice surprise. I think it'll help keep the momentum going because Cinder was just such like an iconic character that I feel like if it was strictly we weren't going to hear from her at all, I just could see how it would maybe lose people, whereas I think breaking it up is going to do really good things for the rest of the story. Again, I'm not very far, only 10 chapters in, but Thorn, who is in the same prison as Cinder, like he's in the same place she's being kept, he escapes with her and they're trying to make their way to Africa. I'm not that far in, like they just escaped. It was kind of yucky. They had to like go through the sewers and it was gross. This book and like this series, like I said when I was reading the first one, I forget how kind of grungy and gross it can get, but it's certainly a thing that's happening. So that's what's going on with Cinder. And then Scarlet, like I said, her grandmother has been missing. They are farmers in Paris. While she's at this like bar that they bring, or like a tavern that they do like sell vegetables to, she bumps into Wolf, who is this like, just like a newcomer who's been hanging out at the tavern. And, you know, they just have a moment. There's like a little bit of flirting, whatever. He asks if she has any jobs. She says no, so she goes home and she finds her father, who has been missing for a week as well. And he's like really traumatized by something. He just keeps saying that they were branding him, they were hurting him, they were attacking him. And he's like, they wanted the information from her, but she wouldn't give them any information. I don't even know what information they're talking about. How could she hold out information over her own son's life? And so he remembers that there was a tattoo on one of the people who was like torturing him, and Scarlett puts together that that tattoo is the same one that was on Wolf that she saw earlier. So right now in the book, she's confronting Wolf, who is doing kind of like underground fighting to make a little bit of money. And there's definitely something a little off about Wolf. I remember what it is, but I'm not going to say too much until the reveal at least happens. I mean, this is already spoiler filled, so it's fine. But it's definitely not very subtle in the fact that, you know, the last book talked about those hybrid wolf creatures, and now we have a character named Wolf. If you haven't put together, this is a Red Riding Hood retelling. You get it. So I am going to take a little break because I need to go pick up Nick from work, but I'm off tomorrow and I would like to make a little bit of progress because our live show is on Friday. So I will check back in just whenever I get a little further in, but I'm enjoying it. The momentum is still going. Like I said, I think it was a really good decision to still give us Cinder's perspective as well. And I'm interested to see how it continues to grow because I don't remember if we get like in Cress, are we going to get all three of their perspectives? I don't remember. And I'm looking forward to figuring it out. But I'm going to go and I'll be back. Hi, so I am on page 250 and I'm about to head out for work. And I really don't have a ton to update you with. I'm finding this quite boring. I'm not really interested in Scarlett and Wolf whatsoever. It's so interesting because when I looked at that review I wrote, maybe I was just being nice, but I had said that I felt for them like quite a bit. I was like, Scarlett and Wolf, heart, heart. And my memories though of reading this book was that I didn't care about it. And now that I'm rereading it, I don't really care about it. I find the Cinder and Thorn chapters to be much more engaging. I don't necessarily think this is like unimportant because I do know how storylines tie in later, but in the experience of actually reading it, I'm quite bored, not having a great time, just kind of pushing through it to move on to the next one. Those are kind of like literally all my thoughts on this, so I'll jump in when I finish this. Again, our live show for the first two books is tonight. So once I complete it, I have to before the show at 6 p.m. So I will jump back in here and let you know what I thought before that live show or maybe after it, depending on what time I finish between work and the show. But not having a great time. Maybe it's just second book syndrome, but not loving it. Hi, I have to balance hold you because my tripod broke like literally 5 minutes ago, so sorry if I move you around a lot, but I wanted to let you know that I have started Cress. I think the last time I filmed my concluding thoughts on Scarlett, the audio wasn't working on it, so I just want to let you know that I did complete it, didn't love it. I will link the live show discussion for it down below, but I think I'm giving it a generous 3. I think I could be convinced to go even lower. Didn't love it, but I have moved on now to reading Cress. So Cress is following our main character, Cress, which is a Rapunzel retelling, and she is kind of like a hacker or some sort of techie person, and she is basically living alone on a satellite. She's been forced there by her mistress. Her job is to keep tabs on any information about Cinder or Thorn that is traversing the nets. When she's doing that because her mistress wants her to, but she's also doing it for herself because she wants them to get away. We are just at the point now where she has actually, Cinder offered, but her hope was that Cinder and Thorn would come get her from the satellite and rescue her. So we are at the part now where they've gone to do so, and some other things have started going down because her mistress ended up being there. Her name's Sybil. I'm going to start using the term Sybil. But she was also there, and so now there was like a fight between the baddies, and that's where we're at. This was, hands down, my favorite book the first time I read the series. Even when I think about it now, I think about how much I loved Cress and Thorn. So I'm really excited to see what I think because I don't think Lizzie was loving their dynamic. And when I was a kid, I loved their dynamic. I am interested to see what I think now. So I'll be back once I'm a little bit further in. I'm only up to part 1. That's what's going on, is things are going down. And I'll be back when I get a little bit further. I was so excited to read this series, and I am so bored. This is not hitting for me the way that I thought it would. I literally don't even know how else to describe how I'm feeling other than that I just don't really care. And I remember caring the most about this book. I'm not done quite yet. I still have a good chunk to read, but I've been putting off picking this back up because I wanted to film this little clip, and it's taken me weeks to film this clip because I don't want to talk about this book. It's making me sad, and not in terms of content being amazing and I'm emotionally attached. No, I'm so emotionally detached that I feel nothing. So I'm sad. I'm gonna keep reading. I have absolutely, like, I don't even want to tell you what's going on because I don't know. I'm like, it's barely registering in the head. But when I do finish it, I will let you know. Hi friends, it took me so long to read this fucking book that I literally have a new couch now. I finally finished this, and I'm gonna give it a 3-star, which feels wild. I just filmed my wrap up, and I was like, if you had told me I would struggle with this book specifically so hard on this reread, I might not have pitched rereading the series. And that is sad to experience. I will say the first 70% was a 2-star, and I hated it. The last 30% was such a strong 4-star, even like a 4.5. That's when like heist stuff really starts kicking in. Not really heist, but like kidnapping the prince. Like things become really like fast paced and just way more entertaining. I just don't think the first section needed to be as long and drawn out as it was. So I ended up giving it a 3, which is a little generous considering 70 and 30. But I don't have the heart to give it less than that, even though I'm so sad. But I'm happy I'm done. I really am. I am excited to read Winter now, because in this book, Winter stood out to me more than Crest did, which was not how it was the first time I read. And now I'm going to be picking up Fairest, which is 3.5 in the series. This is going to follow Queen Lavanna's story. I started listening to it last night. I've been doing the audiobooks for most of these. It's starting out better than Crest did. I will let you know what else I think when I finish it. Hi friends, I just wanted to let you know that I did go ahead and finish Fairest. This slapped. This slapped harder than I expected. I really do like Marissa Meyer's characters and her writing style. Where I felt Crest was just really kind of dragging for me, this being a novella, I just ate it up. And she has such a talent for getting kind of dark and gritty, darker than I remembered from the first time I read it. And I think this was an opportunity for that writing to really shine, and it was really, really fun. I'm giving it like a 4.25. I think I'm going with like, I'm being a little picky with that and doing the extra 0.25 just to really show like how strong of a 4 this was. Like, it's not a 4 that was close to a 3. It's a 4 that is so solid. I absolutely loved this. I did go ahead then, and I am through the first part of Winter now. I'm trying to fly through these. I was trying to finish it before Squash That series started, and I don't think that's going to be possible. I don't think I'm going to count this one for any Squash That series. It literally starts tonight at midnight, but I will probably count Stars Above toward it. This one, though, I'm going to try and... I'm too far in to feel comfortable counting it, but I am still going to try and finish it this week. The first section of this is really, really working for me, again, more than Crest did. Something about the darker content matter, but the way the characters are interacting, like, it feels like Avengers kind of level of coming together, and the kind of heist atmosphere of like this group trying to take down this oppressive government and working together with their, you know, special talents respectively, and I am just really, really enjoying it. So I don't really think it's going to be a problem to finish this. I think I am going to fly through it faster than Cress, which is, I'm happy to hear and happy to share with you. So I'm going to go back to reading this. The Thorn and Cress content is really working for me in this one. I can see where Lizzie felt the way she did, at least for the first 2 books he's in, where it's like, it just gives kind of potentially icky vibes. And I'm interested to see her thoughts though in terms of Winter, because I do feel like this book solidifies Thorn as a character and how much he doesn't want to manipulate the situation with Cress. Like, he knows the expectations and the persona of him that she fell for, and he's kind of like pivoting so hard away from that it's making him ignore his actual feelings, because he doesn't want like her preconceptions of him to just be used inappropriately, in my opinion. I just like the way it's being done, and I'm interested to hear what Lizzie thought about it. Hi friends, you're a little close to me right now, so I'm trying to lean back, but I am almost done with Winter. I can't believe we are finally at this point. I have about 30% left. I'm hosting Squash That Series reading sprints all day today. We've kind of hosted them every day of the readathon so far, which is really fun. I kind of wonder if we could try and keep some of that momentum going. But yes, I am 70% of the way in. I am enjoying it. I'm having a good time. This is definitely one of the best in the series. Probably like this and Cinder upon reread have been my favorite too. And there's a lot of like the bigger story elements coming together. I think I talked about that a little bit in my last check-in. So I am enjoying all that. It still has some darker moments. This, I keep telling everybody, this is deceptive. Like, this looks like, I thought I was reading like a 500-page book, but it's 820 something pages. And I just think that using like such small, thin pages is just absolutely crazy. I don't know, maybe I already complained about that before, but this is me just letting you know that that's still kind of not annoying me, but stressing me out. I will say, reading this, a lot of Levana's turmoil has to do with her disfigurement. I mean, not like, she's not evil only because she's disfigured, but she went through trauma that left her with burn marks and different injuries that would not be as socially, you know, not necessarily not accepted, but it's not, she's gonna be treated differently quite a bit, especially in her society. So a lot of this book is like her using a glamour to hide her disfigurement from her subjects and her people, and our main character Cinder is like kind of plotting to expose it a little bit now. But reading about that whole exchange is making me think about how I want to read Disfigured by Amanda Leduc. This is on fairy tales, disability, and making space, and it's all about how villains are often portrayed as disabled people. Like, there's some sort of disfigurement to almost every like different appearing character in these fairy tales, but how they're kind of treated and mistreated by the people around them. So I'm not really like, I mean, that's obviously not something Marissa Meyer was necessarily doing on purpose. She was taking inspiration from the original tale, but I think this could be a really interesting read with it, to dive in a little bit more about, you know, where those preconceptions come from. So that's my recommendation for now. I'm going to go finish reading because I'm going to be on sprints for a while, and I will let you know when I finish. Hello, I just want to let you know that I finished Winter. I can't believe that I did so. Like, I think I talked to you about my sticky notes previously, but there were 2 sections that were actually ones that I want to talk about at the book club discussion, so I kept those notes in my mind. I enjoyed this. I'm giving it a solid 4-star. It was just so long and I'm just kind of over the series at this point, which is upsetting because I was so excited to reread it. But at the same time, I'm really happy we reread it because I think I am going to get rid of these books. I had been holding them because I was like, I have such fond memories of the series. I want to keep them on my shelves, but now I need the room. And I think if I take these to like my work, some teen is going to come in and see we have all like 5 and they're going to get really excited. So I'm just trying to channel that, like those memories or like those potential memories instead for someone. And I'm going to donate these. But before I can do that, I do still need to finish Stars Above, which is a collection of short stories in the Cinder world, Lunar Chronicles world. I'm not against this one though. Like, I mean, it's kind of unfortunate that I'm still reading for this series within Squash That series. Like, I kind of want to be branching into other books, but for the sakes of completing it all, at least a collection of short stories shouldn't be too bad. It shouldn't take too long. And her short story of Fairest really, like, it did a lot for me. So maybe each of these individually will work for me too. But that means you're probably only going to get one more check-in from me. And then this vlog is done. So I'll be back to do that momentarily. Hi friends, I just want to let you know that I finished Stars Above, which means I have finished finally the reread of the Lunar Chronicles, which is great considering our live show is Monday. So I only had like a couple days leeway to be getting this done. I ended up giving this a 4-star. I thought it was pretty fun. Most of the stories were actually more prequels, and I kind of was wanting them to be more sequels. So that was kind of a bummer, but there was only one story that like really bored me. The rest of them I at least like flew through and ate up. Now overall, my feelings on the entire reread, mixed. I'm probably feeling like a very solid 3, and I kind of thought this reread would be like at least a 4 or 5. I just was quite disappointed by how much I just didn't connect like I thought I would. Now, there was an interview at the end of my copy of Winter that I actually really appreciated with the author, and she kind of talked about where she got inspiration for settings. So where I was bored about the desert in Cress actually was lifted from the original story. There's like a translation that depicts her outside world as a desert, so that's where like the author was inspired. So I can appreciate the setting a little bit more, but that doesn't really change my enjoyment of the story. I don't know. Would I have reread this knowing how I'd feel at the end? Probably not. But I'm really, really happy we did because it was just fun to see like Lizzie and stuff experience it for the first time. And then there was also the fun element of just like, I've had these books on my shelves forever. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with them because I couldn't decide if I was just like wanting to hold on to them because I loved it so much. So getting to make the space of like 5 books on my shelves, I think is pretty incredible. I kind of needed that room. So I will be unhauling my series and just hoping that a younger reader who is picking it up for the first time gets really excited to see some discounted copies. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're still here watching this, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you want to see more from me. And I will see you in my next one, which on Tuesday should be my entire Squash That series vlog. So I will see you then. Bye!